Hello students and welcome back. Hey, for the next 2 weeks we are going to be going over the unit of financial literacy. And financial literacy is a pretty interesting unit. What financial literacy is the set of skills and knowledge that allows a person to make an informed decision. Now, you might want to pause the video and write down this, because for the next 2 weeks, this is what we're going to be talking about. Financial literacy is the set of skills and knowledge that allows a person to make an informed decision. And what that means, in short, is to make a smart decision about whatever they do with their money. Finance or financial has to do with money. Literacy is the knowledge to make a smart decision. Okay, so go ahead and pause it, write down that definition, keep it by you while you're doing these so you remember what the overall unit is talking about. All right, so there's a lot of aspects in financial literacy, but we're just going to talk about a few of them today. And we're going to start out with some definitions. Okay, and we're going to talk about some of the definitions of financial literacy. Just give me a minute to erase this and all right, and I'm excited about this because this is financial literacy is what I went to college for. I actually have an accounting degree, a 4-year accounting degree, and I have a minor in finance also. So this is what most of my college courses were about. So a few of the definitions. Okay, the first one is a deposit. A deposit is when money is added to an account. Well, here, let me show you the definitions at the end, because I'm going to use this board space right here. So let me talk about the definitions, but let me show them to you at the end. Okay. So if this was your account at the bank, so say this was your bank account. And let's say you had $50 in your bank account. So here is $50. So here's the decimal point, $50. That's your total. Okay. And let's say you got that $50 for a birthday present. So let's change it. Instead of just writing total, we'll change it to birthday money. Okay, all right. So what the first word I was talking about is deposit. Okay, so that's when money is added to your account. You're putting money in. So deposit, it's you're dropping it in the bank. You're putting the money in the bank. It's kind of like the word deposition we learned in science. Deposition is the dropping of rocks and sediment into the ocean or into the lake. Okay, you're dropping those things off. You're leaving them there. Okay, a deposit is the first part of the word deposition, and deposit you're dropping the money off at the bank. So when you're dropping off money at the bank, are you adding to it or subtracting from it? Well, if you're bringing money to the bank, you're adding to your total. Okay, so let's say you mowed some lawns. So let's put in our next line, mowed lawns. And let's say you earned $100. So you would put $100 here, and your total would then be $150. Okay? So now we increase that because we made a deposit. Okay? Now, when you take money out of the bank, you're taking it from the account, you're subtracting it from their account, and we call that a withdrawal. A withdrawal. So if you're withdrawing money from the bank, you're taking the money out. It's being subtracted from your account. So that's a withdrawal. So a withdrawal is when money is subtracted from your account. So let's say you wanted to buy a new bike. So you write new bike in here and you go down to the bank, and that new bike is going to cost you $80. So you're going to subtract that money out of the bank, and that would be a withdrawal. You would withdraw the money for the new bike. Okay? You take that money out of the bank. That's called a withdrawal. What you're left with is we call it a balance. The money you're left with at the end is a balance. That's your balance. That's the money you're left with at the end. Okay? So you would say my balance is $70. Okay? My balance was $50. I mowed lawns and I deposited $100. Then I bought a new bike, so I subtracted and I withdrew $80, and then my balance was $70. Okay, so we learned 3 new words. It's deposit, withdrawal, and balance. Okay, those are the 3 new words we learned, and I'm going to put these up here so you can check them out. You can pause the video when I put them up here, so if you want to write them down, I think that would be great. Or if you just put them in your memory, and remember that when money is taken out, that's a withdrawal. When money is put in, it's a deposit, and the remaining is the balance. Okay, so here are those definitions. Okay, so there's your deposit, your withdrawal, your balance, and then the last thing we're going to talk about is expenses. So if you'd like to copy these down, go ahead, pause it, and then come back to, I'm going to start talking about expenses. Okay, all right, so the next thing we're going to talk about, there are expenses. There's 2 main expenses that you have. 2 main expenses that you have. And what an expense is it's the money spent on something. So it's money spent on something. So back in this example over here, okay, the bike would have been an expense. Okay, it was a fun expense, but the bike would have been an expense. Okay, So it cost us money, so that's an expense, okay, of $80. Now, I'm going to go ahead and erase these real quick. Okay, so I'm going to show you some expenses. We're going to talk about one kind of expense. There's two main kinds. The next lesson I'll talk about the other one, but for right now, I just want to talk about one kind of expense. So let me write this up here real quick. So expenses. Okay, there's two kinds. One that we're going to talk about today is called a fixed expense. Okay? And a fixed expense simply says that the money does not change. It stays the same every month, every year, depending on how often you pay it, it stays the same. So it's a fixed expense. Okay? It doesn't change. So I wrote down some examples of some of the things that I pay or that some other people, some of my other neighbors might pay every month that doesn't change. Okay, so the first one and biggest one, because you don't want to be surprised on how much your rent is or your mortgage. So your rent and start that over. Your and your mortgage. Okay. Okay, I think that's, I'm not sure right now if that's spelled right or not, but rent and mortgage. Okay, so they do not change at all. So every month they're going to stay the same. Okay, so rent and mortgage. The second thing is your car payment. So if you have a car payment, which most of us do, okay, so me and my wife pay on a car, and we make the same payment every month to the bank. Okay, your car insurance. Okay, so the insurance on your car stays the same. Okay, it'll stay the same the whole year. Now, the only way that changes is if you have an accident. If you have an accident or a claim, then your car insurance may go up or down. Okay, but otherwise your insurance usually stays the same every month. Okay, my cell phone. So my cell phone, okay, is fixed. Okay, no matter how much I talk on it, no matter how much I text, it's the same every month. So I pay the same payment every month. Okay, my internet. So with this online school, I'm using my internet a ton. My boys are using the internet a ton. We're pretty much on our computer all the time, or our cell phone. Okay, so our internet, but it stays the same. It's not any different. It's fixed. Okay, so that's good for us. So we don't have to pay any more for all this internet we're using. Trash and recycling. Okay. Okay, so I live in Fort Worth. Our trash and recycling stays the same every month. Whether I have 1 bag of trash or 10 bags of trash, it's the same. My TV. Now I get satellite TV, so my satellite TV is the same every month. So I pay the same every month. Okay. The only way it's different is if I rent a movie, then that would change. But if I just watch TV, if I'm just watching the channels that I have, then my TV stays the same. It's fixed. Okay, all these are fixed. And then if you have a lawn service, okay, so if you have someone mow your lawn or, trim your trees or do anything like that, it's one payment, okay? So my neighbor has her lawn done. In fact, the lady came today and mowed her lawn, and she pays the same payment every month. Okay, so I think it's like $30 or $40 every time she comes, and I think she comes like twice a week. So what would that be, like $60 or $80 a month? Okay, so the lawn service would be a fixed expense. Okay, so there's two kinds: fixed expenses, and tomorrow I'll talk to you, or the next lesson I should say, I'll talk to you about the other kind of expense. Okay, so I hope you learned a lot of things today. I hope you learned about fixed expenses today. Also, these vocabulary words, okay, deposit, withdrawal, balance, okay, those are all very important on learning financial literacy and making smart decisions. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye for now. Bye. Bye, guys.